Hello.
Hello.
We are still waiting for a few more minutes for people to join. Hello, everyone. If you are joining, we are here. We are just waiting for more people to join. So just bear a few more minutes with us. Good afternoon, everyone. Just bear with us a few more minutes so people are joining. Okay, Alexandra, I think it's time to start.
Yeah.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm really happy to have all of you here to our first webinar in a series that we in Women in Tech Alliance and the Minded.io, we are starting today. My name is Anca Iordănescu. I am the founder of Women in Tech Alliance, and I'm the VP of Engineering at IKEA, working for the store of the future. And today I am really happy to launch our first webinar. It's really about enhancing developer productivity. And I have with me Alexandra, who is going to present you her experience. A little bit about ourselves. As I said, my name is Anca Iordănescu. I'm founder of the Women in Tech Alliance. And our Women in Tech Alliance is an organization which started with a wish to support women to grow and thrive in the tech industry. We are an organization on a mission. Together, we want to help 1 million women to join tech forces. We founded this organization a few years ago in south of Sweden, and we are extended across Europe. together with a very, very small team of women, we are creating a lot of events trying to support women to learn about technology. And one part of this, we have launched last autumn an AI Society. AI Society is a movement where we would like to support women to learn more about AI. And this is why we have discussed with Minded.io, and we have decided to start this series of webinars to support our women to learn more. So with that said, I'm handing over to our star today, Alexandra, who will tell you about AI plugins in software development.
Thank you, Anka. Hello, everyone. Welcome to our webinar on enhancing developer productivity, the power of AI plugins in software development. I would like to share some insights about the vision of Minded.io first. Minded.io is an AI-driven custom software product engineering company that has proven expertise in artificial intelligence, software development, business intelligence, and integration services. We cover the entire development cycle, from business research and consulting to architecture, as well as post-implementation testing and maintenance. With over 250 software engineers, our team acts as an extension to your IT department, dedicated to fulfilling your software product engineering needs and evolving alongside you as your requirements change. As I said, my name is Alexandra, and I've had an exciting journey here at Mindit.io as a software engineer, growing from an intern to a technical lead along the way. I mainly work with Java, Spring Boot, Maven, and relational database technologies, and I'm thrilled to be your host today. We'll be exploring the world of AI-powered software development together. In the next minutes, we'll see how these technologies are transforming the way we code, making it faster, easier, and more creative. A key focus will be on how becoming a productive developer can significantly impact your projects. I'll share insights on AI tools that can boost your productivity, and we'll talk about how AI can help solve common coding problems like reducing repetitive tasks, finding bugs faster, and keeping up with changing coding practices. But before we jump in, I want to share a thrilling opportunity with you. We are hosting a giveaway for a 3 exclusive hands-on session focused on AI and automation. So stay tuned until the end and you'll automatically be unlisted in our giveaway. You could be one of the 3 selected participants who will win a free 2-hour AI workshop. Our colleagues will contact the winners next week. Now, let's get started. Let me walk you through the structures of today's webinar. First, we'll explore developer productivity, what it truly means and why it is more important than ever. Next, we will discuss AI-powered coding assistants. We'll demonstrate how they are not just another code completion tool, but genuine coding partners that understand context and can assist with complex development tasks. The highlight of our session will be a live coding demonstration. We will build parts of a financial portfolio management system in real time, showcasing how AI can accelerate development while maintaining code quality. And finally, we'll conclude with key takeaways that you can immediately apply to your development workflow. Let's explore the core of our webinar, the significance of developer productivity. In today's fast-paced digital world, developer productivity stands as the invisible force driving technological advancement. It's not just about writing more code faster, it's about creating meaningful solutions that shape our digital future. Picture a world where developers can focus on what truly matters, solving complex problems and innovating, rather than getting bogged down by routine tasks. Developer productivity is about turning creative ideas into real solutions quickly and effectively. Today's developers face an unprecedented landscape of tools, frameworks, and technologies. They are not just coders, they are architects of digital experiences, problem solvers, and innovators. Their productivity directly impacts how quickly ideas transform into reality. Consider developer productivity as a multiplier of potential. When developers are equipped with the right tools and workflows, they don't just work faster, they work smarter. Every line of code is more meaningful, every solution is more refined, and every project has a greater impact. We are witnessing a fundamental shift in how we think about developer productivity. It's no longer measured in lines of code or hours worked, but in problems solved and value delivered. Modern tools and AI assistants are not just enhancing productivity, they are redefining what's possible. As we look at how AI and development work together, we are not just talking about small improvements, we are talking about a new way to develop software where creativity and technical skills unite to create amazing innovations. Basically, when we empower developers with the right tools and practices, we are not just improving code output, we are accelerating the pace of innovation itself. The data you are seeing on your screen represents a fundamental shift in how software development works. Let me walk you through some of these remarkable findings. Perhaps most importantly for business outcomes, bug detection has improved by 26%, with 93% of bugs now caught before deployment. Microsoft's Developer Velocity Index attributes this to AI-powered static analysis that can identify subtle issues that human reviewers might miss. Looking at the debugging time, traditionally consuming nearly half of a developer's workday at 42%, with AI-assisted tools that's dropped to just 25% according to GitHub's latest Copilot impact study. That's nearly 2 additional hours every day that developers can redirect to problem solving. Code completion has seen perhaps the most dramatic improvement. McKinsey's research shows developers are writing 80% more code per hour with AI assistance. This isn't just about typing faster, it's about AI suggesting entire functions and patterns that would otherwise require significant thought and research. Documentation, long considered the necessary evil of development, has seen its time commitment slashed by more than half, from 15% of project time to just 6%. Stack Overflow's data suggests this is largely due to AI tools generating baseline documentation that developers can then refine. The learning curve for new technologies has been nearly cut in half, from 4.2 months to just 1.8 months, according to JetBrains research. AI tools are effectively serving as on-demand mentors, providing contextual examples and explanations that accelerate understanding. The improvements in context switching are particularly interesting. Dora State report shows developers are experiencing 48% fewer interruptions weekly. This matters because each context switch can cost up to 23 minutes of recovery time to get back into deep focus. The code review efficiency has doubled, with review cycles dropping from 4.2 days to just 1.6 days. GitHub's analysis showed this is largely because AI tools are handling the routine aspects of code review, allowing human reviewers to focus on architectural and strategic concerns. All these improvements have led to a significant increase in developer satisfaction and a 45% reduction in time to market for new features and products. The bottom line? Well, technical debt management, that ongoing maintenance cost that typically consumes 30 to 40% of development time, has been reduced to 15 to 22% of freeing up substantial resources for innovation and new development. These aren't incremental improvements, they represent a step change in how software is built. Organizations that embrace these AI-powered development workflows aren't just making their developers happier, they are fundamentally changing their competitive position in the market. Now, let's discuss about AI-powered coding assistance. Here at Minded.io, we are working with a variety of tools. Some of them are mentioned here: Cursor, Windsurf, C-Line, RuCode, OpenAI Codex. But what are they? Think of AI coding assistants as your intelligent programming partners, working alongside you in real time. They are tools powered by advanced language models that understand both code and natural language, offering support throughout your development process. Imagine having a knowledgeable colleague who can instantly complete your code, spot potential bugs, suggest better ways to structure your work, and even write documentation for you. These assistants communicate naturally while providing technical precision. The days of tedious, repetitive coding tasks are gone. These AI tools assist you in writing better code more quickly, catching issues early, and learning new approaches. They are like having a senior developer available 24/7, ready to help you tackle any programming challenge. The financial portfolio management system that I mentioned serves as a POC for our live session. During this hands-on session, we'll implement a task from start to end, covering the following 4 key development scenarios where AI assistance provides significant value. We will implement and configure connections between our system and the third-party financial data provider. This includes establishing a communication channel, developing data transformation layers, implementing error handling mechanisms, and um, all of this while respecting API rate limits. We will see the AI's ability to perform static code analysis to identify potential issues and suggest concrete fixes, essentially providing real-time code review. We will see the AI's capability to create comprehensive test coverage with various scenarios, mocks, and assertions, typically a time-consuming aspect of development. And finally, we will ask AI to automatically provide comprehensive documentation and visual representations that improve understanding and maintainability. For today's demonstration, I'm using C-Line as my AI assistant directly in the Visual Studio Code. And now I'm switching your view to see the application and the code itself. And an important point I want to highlight from the start is that the AI assistant will take some time to generate the code for the first task. In the meantime, I'll share more information about the application, how the C-Line assistant works, and what it looks like. And we can explore the live feedback provided by the AI together. So you will see live the code is written by the AI while we will discuss the expectations of the task. That being said, I have pasted my prompt in the chat here. And now we will allow the AI to process it while we look at the application. Okay, while it is processing, let's look at the app. So the project is a financial portfolio management system. It's built with Spring Boot and React with TypeScript. It allows users to create and manage financial portfolios containing various types of assets. We have here stocks, bonds, ETFs, mutual funds, crypto, cash, and visualize portfolio performance and asset allocations through interactive charts. Another important point is that all the data presented here is mock data, which was inserted using a SQL script. So for the stock price especially, we can see that the current price is set to $100. That's not accurate at all. So we will use the integration with this external API to update the price for this stock. Looking back at the code, let's discuss a little bit about the C-Line assistant. We have here the C-Line panel and the conversation with the assistant. C-Line offers a variety of models to work with. For today, I'm using Claude 3.7 from Anthropic, but depending on your favorite or your preference, you can choose whatever you like from this list, which is quite extensive. And as most AI assistants, it has 2 operating modes. The plan mode is used when it's used by the user to interact with the AI assistant and to come up with a final plan together. And nothing from that plan is built until the act mode is triggered. I've already triggered the act mode, so we can skip the part with discussing and planning, and we can see the AI assistant in action. At the top of the conversation, we have the task, and it has a few metrics here. The tokens are the basic units of text that AI models process. The up arrow shows how many tokens were in my input message, and the down arrow shows how many tokens were in my responses. The cache refers to information stored from previous interactions to improve performance, and the plus number indicates new information added to the cache during this particular conversation. The number near it shows the total size of the cache after the addition. The context window is the maximum amount of information that can be considered in a single conversation. The number on the left shows how much of the context window is currently being used, and the 200K is the maximum context window size available. The API cost is pretty obvious. It approximates the cost of the API calls made during this conversation and is calculated based on the number of tokens processed and based on the model that you are using. And here in the right corner near the trash button, we have the file size of the data being processed. I've already provided the AI assistant with read, edit, and browser access here in the bottom of the screen. And while read and edit are obvious, the browser is interesting. What it does is that it can open the browser to the local host address directly in the C-line conversation, and it can start doing debugging if needed. That's the reason why in the settings we have custom instructions, and I've put it here the login credentials for my POC and the API key that should use for the integration with the third-party API. And once the information is here, you will not need to repeat it in the conversation. Looking at what's happening here, the AI processed the prompt, and first of all, it analyzed the entire process, the entire project, and after that, it started implementing the changes. Now, let's discuss a little bit about the task and what are our expectations after all the process is ready. I've instructed the prompt, the AI assistant, to develop a new service, the stock market data service, for real-time stock price integration. It should use Alpha Vantage's Global Code API for data retrieval and ensure compliance with the free API rate limit, which is 25 calls per day. It should implement error handling with logging capabilities. It should configure the application YAML file to remember the API key and the base URL that it should use. And it should also create an API endpoint for manual stock price updates, only for the stock type assets. Considering that we only have 25 calls per day, I've limited the prompt to use only to update only the stock type assets. That's why we've seen earlier that the Apple stock is set to $100. After the integration, it should be updated with the real-time value. And in the dashboard component on the front-end side, a new button should be created to trigger this API, the refresh stock prices. This is the button's name. And it should also display the last updated timestamp and Alpha Vantage attribution. It should refresh the asset list. So the main scope is to focus on simplicity and reliability. It should avoid automatic updates at this moment because we want to have a special mini feature ready at the end of the implementation. Of course, the task of integrating an external API is more complex than this, and the special cache configuration can be added, automatic system can be implemented, but I wanted to show how a clear and simple specification from the beginning can result in a real used feature in the application within minutes. For a better understanding of the implementation, anytime a conversation can be started with the AI to explain why it used a certain pattern or a certain approach or a certain cache management, for example. Now, looking at the feedback, the AI assistant is working on the front-end part. It looks like it added the stock prices button. Since the backend part is ready, we can start again our backend server. And whenever the front end is ready, we can look again in the application itself. I'm running the backend server right now. And looking at the feedback from the AI assistant, it is still working on the dashboard file, on the dashboard component in the front end to adjust everything that is needed for the new button to refresh manually the stock prices for our assets in the portfolio. Another important aspect, not all the stocks should be updated, but only the ones that are in the portfolio. And as we saw earlier, we only have the Apple stock added there. Pretty cool, right? So you are seeing live how the code is updated step by step. And if some error appears, some pattern, it is using a pattern that doesn't match the file component, it will automatically try to fix it. So at the end, you will have a working code and a working service, of course. As I said, this is really a live demo session. So if we see an error, that's not a problem. It was expected from the beginning. It is now working on the alerts to handle properly the alerts also on the front end, not only on the backend part. And at the end of the task, we should see a summary with what it was achieved, what it was created, updated, inserted. And here it is. We have now the summary with all the information. Basically what you should see in a pull request description. So it announced that the task is complete. Now we can check the application itself. Let's refresh. We have here now the button at the top in the dashboard panel. Let's refresh the button. And the stock prices were updated successfully. Let's refresh the entire dashboard and we can see now the performance is changed and the stock price of the Apple is at 210. So the integration with the external API was done successfully. That's quite impressive. Moving at the next key component, the next key scenario from our previous slide, let's instruct the C line to analyze what it was implemented here and to identify potential issues because we don't have a cache management, we don't have a retry mechanism, we have a very basic implementation of an external API. So this is the next prompt. At first, it will gain read access to the specific files involved in the process, the stock market service, the rate limit, to understand better the whole context, the configuration part, to see what API is used for this integration. And then it will analyze the fetch stock price method. That's the one that does the actual integration. And here we can see that it analyzes the whole code and we have a lot of critical issues, additional concerns. So a lot to be done more on this task, yeah. And of course, the task can be extended to integrate all the assets, not only the stock prices. The next point is to see how the unit tests are done. So let's instruct the AI assistant to create a few tests. I will go directly in the act mode because I want to see them run at the end of the implementation. So I've specifically asked the AI assistant to create 5 unit tests because I need to keep in mind that 25 days that 25 limit per day, 25 calls for this particular API. So I want to see that it can implement base unit tests. We will cover the HTTP client error, the server error, and the rate limit exceeded scenarios. Of course, if you will work with the AI assistants, you will see that it gets more creative and there can be a lot of scenarios to cover. And if you're adding more stuff on top of it, different assets type, different cache management, the scenario numbers will increase. So we are now at test 4. We are pretty close to have all the tests here in the file. And now we are waiting for the conclusion. And here it is. It successfully created the test with those 5 scenarios. With all the summary here. Now let's run the test together to see if we have some errors or not. And we have 2 failures. Another cool thing that we can do to solve these kind of errors is to go directly to the C line with this error, and it will interpret the prompt, it will reach the file, analyze the specific test that is failing, and fix it. Okay, one was done. And the next step, let's see if it will identify the second test, or we need to add it like we did before with this one. It was an import missing, so it detected that the file had an error before saying, okay, I'm done with this. And yeah, it identified the other test that was failing. And now that one is also fixed. Let's see if the file is correctly completely, and it is, no other imports missing. So now that it identified the issue, is checking each test to see if it can multiply the issue there or not to fix the problem in the entire class test. Okay. Still analyzing a little bit. So imagine how much time it will take to implement the entire assets, right? Of course, it helps to have this done in a few minutes, but otherwise, I think it will take a few hours to have the entire API implemented here. So at each finding and at each improvement and fix, it also updates the documentation. That's an important task. And now it is asking the request to run the test directly using a command line. I didn't grant the assistant permissions to do that, so whenever it wants to run a command, I need to approve it. So now we have 5 tests successfully run. The next point on our list was to create a detailed documentation. So I'm instructing the AI assistant to create a sequence UML diagram to document the integration with the external API and how it looks until now. Of course, it will gain access to the needed files, the ones that make sense, so it can have the full picture of how different components are interacting with each other within our project. And after that, hopefully it will create the desired diagram. It will analyze also the back end and the front end, so basically the entire project. It's looking at the asset part now. It looked earlier at the stock price. Now it's checking the controller where we have that refresh button that triggers the API integration. Now it's looking at the front-end code to understand how it's interacting with the backend API. And once everything is ready, it will start working on creating a diagram. And depending on the, I don't know, the ability and the willingness of the AI assistant, sometimes in my tests, it didn't detail the components. It just created the diagram. Otherwise, it created specific diagrams for a small part of the process. Let's see how it will be this time. Looks like everything is okay. He understands the components involved in the process. And now he's generating the diagram using mermaid syntax. And here we have the error handling, the security considerations. Here we have the diagram with all the details and all the interactions between the client and the Alpha Vantage external API. So going back to our presentation, let me share the key insights from what we've discussed until now. Imagine turning complex system architecture from concepts into code in minutes, not days. We've seen this in action earlier, where AI transformed our requirement into a working structure pretty fast. This isn't just about speed, it's also about unleashing creativity. AI served as a vigilant guardian of code quality, like having a senior developer looking over your shoulder. It consistently suggested best practices. It caught potential issues before they become problems, so before the deployment step, and maintained clean, consistent patterns throughout our code base. Tasks that used to take hours, like connecting external APIs, were done quickly with the help of our AI assistant. Of course, if the integration is more complex, it still can take hours, but it will be fewer than a few days, yeah? You can think of AI as more than just a tool. See it as a mentor that grows with you. It not only solves problems, but also explains solutions, suggests alternatives, and helps developers understand the reasons behind each decision. It's useful for both junior and senior developers. And the plan mode is especially useful for the technical leads that need to establish new frameworks, new architectures. It's a discussion ongoing with the AI assistant, and it minimizes the research time. As we look ahead, we see faster development cycles and cleaner code. We are entering a new era in software development where AI helps enhance human creativity and innovation. This allows developers to focus on what really matters, solving real-world problems. The key is to use AI tools strategically as part of a comprehensive development workflow. And as a closing thought, as we finish, let's take one last look at our clever cat programmer. This programmer was skilled at writing complex code and in the past only shared his secret with a trusted companion. Today, with AI helping in coding, even beings from above might need a chatbot to help make sense of this complicated code. We've now reached the Q&A section of our session. And my colleagues will post a link to a feedback survey in the chat. Please fill in the survey. It takes less than a minute to complete it, and it helps us build the webinars more tailored to your needs and interests.
Okay, thank you, Alexandra. It was really, really good to learn more about sea lion and to kind of reveal a little bit from our prep sessions. You know that I had said I didn't know anything about sea lion, and your presentation made me to go and Google a little bit, try it. But also it shows us, and I hope everyone have seen it, how easy actually is to
Yeah.
really start becoming writing code. If you kind of start to learn about few things, how to set it up, then it's really you have really a very, very good assistant that can help you. Now to create an application for financial, I can do it also. Of course,
Yeah.
there are different AI tools, and Alexandra, you can talk about the others, and you can pick which one you prefer. This is your favorite one, but definitely we are entering a new era, as you said. And for me, this is what is the powerful of our message: is that you can actually enhance your skills. You can become really software developer much easier than you'd done it before.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. So now we have few questions, and some I also try to answer, and then Alexander, I'll pass it over to you. But first one from Maria was about Mihaela, not Maria. Mihaela, it's if there are any projects or scenarios where we shouldn't use AI tools. And I have a spontaneous response, and then I'll pass it also to you, Alexandra.
Sure.
So for me, if anyone asks me what is the biggest problem with AI today, except of course easiness, it offers a lot of easiness, it's actually the data quality. So if you think about, garbage in, garbage out, you shouldn't use AI if you have bad data, because if you put AI on the data which is not a good quality, you will not get anywhere. So that's one case which I would say I wouldn't recommend you to use any AI tools before you clean the data. A second one, which I've been thinking while I read the question, I read a book some time ago. It was about using AI to take moral decisions. And it was really put in the context of can we actually remove bribery in the world and actually save the world, with the sustainability by having a machine or an AI taking decisions, because then it's not biased. But then you could see the benefit of that, but then it's the whole moral of someone imposing a decision which is only fact-based, which of course we're all looking for fact-based, but what we realize as a people, we don't always take decisions fact-based. We have morals, and then it's something that I don't think that we should let the machine. It should be assisted, we should get data, we should learn from it, but in the end, it should be us taking the decision. And maybe the last one, and then Alexander, I let you to pick other. I think more where may have two more about where it's about empathy. I'm not sure AI is not having empathy. We shouldn't forget that we are talking with a machine that is built by humans, so it's just a machine. And then the last one, actually, since I have grown-up children, which are students today, I would say the students shouldn't use AI to write essays. Now I probably get a lot of people smiling, because it's where they should learn, they should make the research, they should speed up the acquiring information, but then they still have to use their skills to write things down and be creative, because then we lose creativity. Alexandra, what
Mm-hmm.
do you think? Do
Yeah,
you
yeah,
have
I
other
totally agree
cases?
with you. I hope they are not grounded. I will add one or two more things. I'm thinking about the specialized areas like scientific research or the custom hardware programming, where AI tools may not work well. And also for the very poorly documented code, AI works best with organized and well-documented code. If it's a mess there or outdated code, its suggestions may not help. It will still give suggestions, but not sure if it will be the right one. Yeah.
And I forgot to say, not about nuclear plants. I just read
Yeah.
what happened in Spain. Probably don't use AI there. Where is zero tolerance to error?
Yeah.
Okay. The second question is about how team leads or managers encourage to adoption of AI. And maybe this one I can also start a little bit bringing the IKEA lens on it, because I'm working with my team to elevate their skills. and is really actually enable people first to understand. Someone says that, software developers are a special kind. They don't really want to, we think they are most advanced and willing to learn, but it's also they think that they are very good. So I don't think an AI can write better code than they can do themselves. But I think it's actually about encouraging people to study, to learn, to participate in hackathons, actually showing the productivity and also showing that you can, my carrot into this is like, can we spend time to create things that are cool, innovative, and actually use AI to solve the problem that can be automated? Documentation, and as you showed, Alexandra,
Yeah.
deployments, things like that. I don't want to spend time. I want to spend my creativity in creating, I don't know, inventing something new, in creating new code, in thinking more on composing, pieces of software. So that's for me where creativity. So let AI to do it. That's how we are trying to do it. Alexandra, how do you think
Well,
that we should approach it?
yeah, I agree. Providing workshops and hands-on sessions help developers learn how to use AI tools, because the first thing is to understand how to use it. Um, I think it should start with non-critical projects to allow the teams to experiment with AI tools, because that's another important part. You need to experiment to see how you need to talk with with the AI assistant, how to create your prompts to be specific. So this takes time. And of course, you don't need the pressure of an ongoing big project in the same time. And highlight how the AI tools can save time, can reduce repetitive tasks, can improve code quality with examples and metrics directly from your project. Why not? So we need to encourage developers to share AI generated solutions, to share the knowledge between us. That's really important. And to accept that some of us will not work with the AI. I I can't, I don't like, and that's normal. That's perfectly okay. It should not be reinforced, let's say.
Yes. Then the next question is mainly for you, Alexandra from Theodora. What VS Code extension are you using in the demo and for choosing between different AI assistants?
I'm using the C-line extension. That's the one in the demo, and it's really simple to install. It's an extension in the VS Code, and there in the code you have here in the C-line the API provider. So here you can change your own model, whatever you are using or you want to experiment with. Maybe it's something new and you want to try.
Good. I don't know. We have more questions. Do you have a preference? I think we know we need to finish now. Do you have, Alexandra, preference between the best way developers to incorporate AI tools in their workflow or hallucination? Which one do you prefer? Or do we have time for both? Can we get the both to answer? Let's do both. We decide ourselves. Let's do both.
Well, the best ways for developers to incorporate AI tools, well, the debugging and the error resolution, I think this is the most important, and it's quickly. You saw how fast a bug can be detected and fixed. It really saves a lot of time spending for this, for the troubleshooting area. And the learning part. AI assistants can provide code examples. They are really useful to run new libraries, frameworks, to experiment, to learn even new external APIs. Think about how much time you save in reading the documentation for that external API. So this is really, really nice.
And what about hallucination, Alexandra? Because I have my experience, but how did you tackle the hallucination part?
Well, I've actually asked the assistant to help me with that. I've done a lot of tests before this demo, and at first 10 tries, the answer was different. So at some point, I said, okay, this is what I need to be the outcome. This is what I want to obtain. Tell me how the prompt should be. And after test, I've added a small a mention there that you should use this approach. because otherwise, yeah, it gets creative with each prompt that you addressed. So I've actually asked for help. Tell me, what do you need to know?
Okay.
It's persistence and exercise.
Yes, yes. And sometimes maybe you need to try with different wording to
Yes.
because
Mhm.
I think you start putting a different context.
Yeah, and I saw recently that we should use please and thank you when talking with with the AI assistants.
Actually, is it very interesting? Why? I also use please and thank you. It's very interesting why it's giving you better answers, thinking of the tokens he's using.
Yeah,
Okay. I think that was all for today. We are in the end of our webinar. Thank you all for joining.
thank you,
There will be
everyone.
more even. Thank you, Alexander, for the great, hands-on demo and webinar. I've learned a lot today. There will be
Thank
more
you.
events coming, so please follow us, both Mind.io and Women in Tech Alliance on LinkedIn, so can get access to our events. And of course, please go and use C-Line at home or try something else. And tell us your experience. Also comment, on LinkedIn if you found this experience, if this webinar good for you and what have you learned. And see you next time. Until then, good AI coding. See you.
See you. Bye bye. Thank
Bye.
you.